E ngā mana, e ngā reo, rau rangatira mā, tēnā koutou. Greetings, Mr. Chair, committee members, and leaders and colleagues from New Zealand Government and civil society. Te Kāhui Tika Tangata Human Rights Commission is Aotearoa New Zealand's national human rights institution with A status accreditation. New Zealand is a super diverse country with over 200 ethnicities and 170 languages. Our domestic context has shifted significantly since the committee's 2017 review. The 8 years since have been marked by major human rights issues, including the Christchurch mosque terror attacks, the COVID-19 pandemic, climate-related disasters, economic insecurity, the largest Royal Commission of Inquiry into the abuse of children in state and faith-based care, and a series of reforms undermining Māori rights as Indigenous people. Global events including conflict, challenges to the rule of law and democracy, and increasingly divisive rhetoric are also beginning to make an impact. We have made some progress in some areas, but more can be done. I wish to draw the committee's attention to three main areas. First, the rights of Māori as Indigenous people. Te Tiriti o Waitangi is New Zealand's founding document. Despite this, it enjoys minimal constitutional or legal protection, an issue repeatedly highlighted by this committee and other human rights bodies. In the absence of greater protection and consensus regarding Te Tiriti, successive governments have been able to override Māori rights upheld by the courts and Waitangi Tribunal. We note some areas of progress since the last review. However, a recent wave of reforms has reversed decades of progress on Te Tiriti and Indigenous rights. These were advanced without genuine engagement with Māori or their free, prior and informed consent. We consider that many issues affecting Māori could be mitigated through the resolution of outstanding constitutional issues regarding Te Tiriti in a genuine partnership between the state and Māori. After 2 decades of recommendations, New Zealand must take action to progress an informed, participatory, national conversation on Te Tiriti. This would provide certainty for both treaty partners, as well as for all other communities, and would provide a foundational pathway to strengthening social cohesion. We ask the committee to recommend that the government acts on previous recommendations to advance constitutional conversations about Te Tiriti in partnership with Māori. Second, New Zealand's increasing diversity calls for deliberate action on social cohesion. Our ethnic minority communities, both long established and newly arrived, make valuable contributions to New Zealand, and many have strong relationships with Māori and respect for Te Tiriti. However, these communities experience persistent racism and racial discrimination in health, justice, education, housing and employment. Some targeted measures to address increasingly disparate outcomes have been scaled back or discontinued. Migrant exploitation and modern slavery also remain significant issues. Global anti-migrant discourse is slowly being imported domestically, primarily in online spaces, but also in public and political rhetoric. A lack of initiatives fostering social cohesion further contributes to a sense of division. In my role as Race Relations Commissioner, I've met hundreds of New Zealanders from all backgrounds, and they all want to live in a united country. Social cohesion is essential for upholding human rights and maintaining positive race relations. Therefore, we ask the committee to recommend that the government prioritise the implementation of the Social Cohesion Framework, invest in community initiatives, and ensure government structures and processes reflect our changing demographics. Third, there is limited access to remedy for people who experience racism and racial discrimination. The Commission is the primary mechanism for addressing this. We ask the committee to recommend that the government adequately fund and resource the Commission to fulfil its statutory functions. Finally, Mr. Chair, our government has a responsibility to continue to make progress on eliminating racial discrimination and racism for all its people. We encourage the committee to call on our government to take their recommendations seriously and to make genuine progress towards implementing them. Thank you for your time today. Nō reira, tēnā koutou katoa.